Alrighty, folks, my next guest is the former director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, we call it the DIA, and the former national security advisor in President Donald Trump's first administration. His newest book is Pardon of Innocence, an inspiring story of faith and freedom. Happy to have our good friend, General Michael Flynn, back on the show. General, really, really good to talk to you. Jen, can we just jump right into what's going on with, I would call it, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, Kash Patel, the FBI Director, Tulsi Gabbard. How is this administration doing for the American people? I mean, we see them on TV, and they're doing great for Trump. But how are the American people being treated with these folks?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that where we are in the administration, and I'll be very blunt, okay, because as I typically am, I feel like there's momentum that is not in our favor right now, because Donald Trump has done amazing things with, stopping wars all over the place, left and right. And I know he's working very hard on the situation in Europe right now. But here at home, I think that there's a feeling that momentum is not necessarily on our side. I mean, if you saw Congressman Comer talking about they've given now Pam Bondi a bunch of stuff on the auto pen pardon scandal under Biden, right? They just turned that over here, I think, the last 24 hours, last 48 hours maybe. But we know so much information from Russiagate, from all the different aspects of what Trump described as treason committed by Obama. And of course, Tulsi Gabbard exposing it all in intelligence channels. And I think Tulsi's done an amazing job to do that for somebody who really is not part of the U.S. intelligence community, but she has figured out how to get and extract information out of the intelligence community in a way that I think that, frankly, even during Trump's first administration, people like Pompeo and even John Ratcliffe, for that matter, who's now the current CIA director, was unable to do. Tulsi's been able to do that in 6 to 9 months, which is extraordinary. Pam Bondi and Kash, I think that they're working their tails off. I think that there is an awful lot of problems that they both have seen and understand that they have to deal with in their various organizations. Of course, the FBI is a subordinate organization to the Department of Justice. I do think that there are some sort of gerbils in the wire, or whatever you want to say. But I still believe that there are some challenges that they are facing with their own bureaucracies. And those challenges are people that they don't, not sure whether they can trust, or whether they're blocking, or whether they're just not telling them things. These are large organizations, and they're just not going to, get to what they need to get to after 8 or 9 months of being in these jobs, right? It's just that hard. It's a very, very hard thing to do. I do believe that the American people, Eric, want people to be held accountable. They want to start with Obama on down. If Trump called Obama out for committing treason, then something needs to be done, right? Is there, should we know that there's a grand jury sequestered in South Florida or in Washington, D.C., or out in Missouri or up in New York? I think that if it's a classified or sealed grand jury, no. But if there is a grand jury that is sequestered somewhere and people are looking into it, there's nothing wrong with our leaders saying, look, all of this is under investigation. We are going to get to the bottom of it. And I think that the Department of Justice needs to do a better job of informing the American people about the kinds of things that they are looking after. Because I'm telling you, I still go, around the country talking to different people about fighting for this country and standing up for what we believe in. And many, many people are asking me, well, when is something going to happen? We're not seeing it.
General,
I'm just telling you how people feel, not how I feel, but how. Yeah.
But I feel the same way. I'll side with the folks. General, you were treated horribly. You were treated horribly by the deep state. Steve Bannon treated horribly by the deep state. Pete Navarro treated horribly by the deep state. Roger Stone treated horribly by the deep state. We have people right now. I'm thinking James Comey. I'm thinking even Hillary Clinton for some of the things she did. John Bolton. Yeah, okay, so there's investigations. General, do you have confidence we're going to see some people behind bars? Or, listen, I would love to see them locked up. Perp walk them. lock them up. But do you think these people are going to get really prosecuted? Listen, General, I love you. I'm tired of hearing about the investigations and the accusations that they're uncovering. I want to see some actual accountability.
Yeah. So two things. Number one, I'm personally, and the way I look at this country and what I was, raised to understand about the United States of America, it's heartbreaking that we are in this place right now, Eric. And I think that you would feel the same way, if we sat down over a cold beer and just talked about the state of the play for the United States. I mean, Trump, again, is trying to do a lot of stuff, but the country is really in a tough spot right now. On your specific point, people want to see these people held accountable, and in some cases, if they've committed a conspiracy, like it appears that they have, they need to go to prison for a long time over this. Now, your specific question is, will this happen? I have my doubts. I really have my doubts, because I believe that the swamp of Washington, D.C. runs so deep that there's going to be a level of protection, and it's not going to just come from the left and in the former Biden administration or the Obama administration. I think that there's a body of people here in Washington, D.C., and I'm in Washington, D.C. right now, that will fight tooth and nail to try to, drag these things out, get through the 2026 election, maybe get through a 2028 election. So I am hesitant to say these people are going to go to prison, because as I sit here today talking with you, I don't feel like that is the momentum that we are beginning to see, or we need to see, that the American people want to see, right? I mean, look at what we know about John Bolton. Now, that case has gone quiet. Jim Comey, okay, well, what do we know about him? We know a lot. I mean, there's a lot. John Brennan is still out and about doing nefarious things. Why aren't these people like they did to Roger Stone? Why aren't these people like they did to all the J6ers, right? There's got to be a sort of a coming to Jesus moment of national security emergencies that I think that the president and his team need to look at, because we're in a place where the former president of the United States, a former president, former director of national intelligence, former director of the CIA, former director of the FBI, a former presidential candidate and U.S. Senator and Hillary Clinton, and then others, and we can go through a whole raft of names, that they committed a conspiracy to not only undermine eventually a duly elected president of the United States, but undermine the country, or the fabric of the Constitution of the United States of America. The president has already said that. So if that's the case, what actions are we taking that the president has the full authority to, as he states, and he's the only one to state it in his oath of office, to preserve the Constitution of the United States of America? If something doesn't happen, if there is not action taken, I'm afraid that we will miss an opportunity, a historic opportunity. And instead of being, as Reagan said, one generation away from losing everything, we are one presidency away, and maybe one more election away, and that would be the 2026 election. So we're holding on to a thin thread here, Eric. And if we don't, if the president doesn't apply pressure where he needs to apply pressure, and I believe he is. I mean, you can see it and you can hear it, and you can see it in his face sometimes, where it needs to be right here with his own teammates and the team that he's assembled, and get them to start looking at these issues that we're talking about right now.
He's got it all. He's got all the people in place. He's got all the people he put in the FBI director. He put in the attorney general. He's got the House. He's got the Senate. Now's the time. Now is the time to make strides in locking up some of the people who've done this country wrong by betrayal of the American trust. And you can call it treason, or he can call it treason. Someone doesn't matter. I'm not necessarily saying we need to see people swinging from a rope. I think we need to see some of these folks doing some jail time. General, I only have about a minute or so with you, because I want to get to this. You're the chairman of the Gold Institute, which is a think and do tank. I love that think and do tank, which focuses on national security, strategies, global leadership, et cetera, et cetera. You have an event coming up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is going to be this is independent media, and and really it's our impact and influence in global political, in the sort of the global politics. And we have a great lineup from people from all over Europe, people from all over the United States. I called this last presidency the podcast presidency, because that's why I think that there was a variety of reasons, and one of which because Trump realized he needed to get into podcast. But the group of people that we have assembled tomorrow, Eric, these people represent over 75 million viewers in the various audiences that they have. So this is going to be a powerful, powerful block of people. And this is sort of step one that the Gold Institute has brought these people together. And this is about, my opportunity to talk with them and let them and hear from them on lessons learned, but to provide a little bit of leadership, a little bit of direction, and a little bit of vision going forward. Because as you know, and as you have been an example of this in your own show, the rise of alternative or independent media is skyrocketing, where the decline of the mainstream big markets that used to exist, the fake news media, is declining. And that is on, in all cases. So very excited about this tomorrow. And we're really looking forward to it. We have about 200 people showing up. So it's a really good turnout.
General, you're the right guy for this. You're the right man to expose all of this. And like you point out, the legacy media is bleeding viewers for a reason, because they don't, the truth and transparency there just isn't. It should be called the GOAT Institute, greatest of all time, right there. General Michael Flynn. General, thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Eric. God bless.
All right, folks, we'll be back 2.5 minutes.